Well, we got some good news. Although Auburn thinks they're slick, but
Yeah,
they're not. No, you're
that
not get. They're not getting Nolan Wilson.
you know what? I said something about this the other day. I think Nolan Wilson, he's probably not one of the primary targets in this class, but he's one of those swing guys in your recruiting class. If you get an early hard commitment from him, he definitely is one of those guys that can bring in some other commits around him. Top in-state talent. You get what I'm saying? So it's just you want to stay right there in the field house with having his attention. And he fits this scheme so well, man. That's why I think Alabama is still high on his list, as far as his interest. And I can't wait to hear the reports from some of the things that's going to be going into the season with his interactions with Alabama.
Well, and it says he's got upcoming official visits for Ole Miss on June 13th and June 20th for the Miami Hurricanes. And it says he's going to be going to see Auburn over the weekend. I'm curious to see how that's going to work out.
Man, the thing is, I really like and I know this is probably like a sin to say. I like what Auburn is doing with their recruiting agenda. They really had an initiative to really attack the state and really attack some of the pipelines that Coach Saban and his staff during his tenure really benefited from, especially in state. I personally have some connections with some of the Central Alabama and East Alabama or programs, high school programs, and they talk about how often Auburn is present at their practices, at their scrimmages, at their some of their players that they're showing some interest in. They're showing up to their basketball games, their track meets, and all of that stuff. So Auburn's really establishing themselves with a presence in state, and it's having an effect. You see their class, their commitments. This class, I think they had 9 of the top 20 or something like that in the state, or 6 of the top 20 in the state commit to Auburn. So they're doing something special over there as far as recruiting, utilizing that NIL, getting guys' attention early with the pitch of playing early, and they're putting young guys out there. So I won't be surprised if Auburn is some type of a powerhouse in 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, if Auburn can hang on to Hugh Freeze, make sure they don't throw the baby out with the bathwater on him, then they can really make noise. Because I mean, we're gonna see them make noise against Georgia and us for
Oh yeah,
sure.
oh
Because
yeah.
it was like when Zachary Wilges was calling in last week on the call-in show. 2 games that worried him were Auburn, South Carolina,
Yeah.
and we haven't beaten Auburn by double digits since 2015. Part of that was because Will Muschamp was throwing a temper tantrum. He was going on Kitty Foreman on the referee.
Facts, facts, facts. What's good, Pit Sniper? Good to see you, man. Good to see you guys. He said, Greg Smook Hines, dance, baby. Nah, we not dancing tonight, man. We trying to get you all informed and caught up on this past weekend's recruiting news and updates, man, and then some of the things that we're hearing and seeing in Alabama's current recruiting with this 2026 class, which is trending towards really being like a head and shoulders #1 class, with a lot of guys being public about their interest. Alabama moving up in a lot of guys' top fours. I know current USC commit, and they're saying, we can expect an announcement here soon with Erbbert Hill. That's going to be good, man. You get Erbbert Hill, Zion Gibson, and Jordan Edmonds to commit in this class. You're talking about another trio of defensive backs in 2 classes back to back, top 15, top 20 guys in their class that you're getting to develop at the University of Alabama. And I think it's a realistic opportunity. I think it's a realistic chance that it can happen. Um, and I tell people this a lot. Coach Mo has those ties up there in Cincinnati, up there in the Northeast region, that Midwest Northeast region. That's kind of where his stomping grounds is, and he has a nice pedigree of talent that he's developed in that area. Being in Buffalo, I think he did 2 seasons at Buffalo as the head coach, and just recruiting in that area. Very familiar with this young man, and I think he's a serious target. And that decommitment would be awesome. And then have him flip to Alabama. A couple flips I think would be interesting to see if they actually transpire here. I've been getting some good reports from the visits this past weekend, so I can't wait to see how everything just continues to just unfold, man, day by day in recruiting, because of the access that these staffs have to these players now.
And we got some highlights of Mr. Erbbert Hill. For those who want to learn more about him, well, here he is making some magic on this touchdown.
Right. Ooh. And the first thing you notice is speed, on both sides of the ball. He's a safety, but the first thing you notice is with the ball in his hands, he can make magic. Kind of puts you in the mind of, as far as dynamic playmaking ability with the ball in his hands, Jalen Mbakwe. Athlete that you could put on the field, and you want to put your best athlete in the middle of the field, no matter if that's on the offense or the defensive side. That's your running back, your free safety. When you have athletes his size with that type of speed, that's where you want to put him. And he excels at both positions. Now, at the collegiate level, I don't think you look at him realistically to play running back or, wide receiver. Definitely could be a specialist returner. You see the speed. I mean, he just blazing through these guys in Cincinnati, so but you look at him play the safety position, man. Great ball skills, strong hands, going to go up and attack the ball at its highest point when it's in the air. Comes down. I don't think he's as physical as we would want at the safety position, but this vision coverage on the back end and the way that Kane Womack dials up the 4-2-5 up front with a lot of stunts and blitzes, a guy with his speed, man, you can see him play that robber technique that we saw Keon Sabb and Bray Hubbard play so well last year. We could see a guy like Erbbert Hill transition into that type of role very, very well.
Ooh. He's running. Like you said, he's got a lot of speed.
I mean, he's a speed guy, man. You put him in the middle of your field, and it's kind of like you're shedding it down. And you got to think, you got a guy in Ike Taylor that's a rangy safety too. And I think they're trying to mold him to be more in the box type safety, so more that rover husky type role, being that nickel corner. I think that's what they want to breed him or kind of evolve him into being the primary guy for, with his ball skills and his size and the way that he fits his physicality. Put him close to the line of scrimmage, put him in position to be a hybrid type of dynamic playmaker. You get a guy like Erbbert Hill to follow up and start, developing in this system. He's a quick turnaround guy, like Zay Mincy, a quick turnaround guy. You give him a year, a half a season to be active and getting reps. And look, like I said, the vision for me is where it's at. Like, just instincts, walking down, playing press man. You're not going to burn him. We know he got the speed and is aggressive on the ball. He's not going to bail coverage out. He's not going to bail the receiver out by watch this hawk down. This is one. I think this is one that made across my screen. Look at this. He almost beat the guy to the end zone.
Oh!
He had to slow down to catch the guy. He almost ran past him. Go back, rewind it.
Let's see it.
Like, look, he had to slow down to catch the guy. Look, he started jogging. He thought he was down. This boy fast, man. Hey, let me answer this phone call real quick, brother.
All righty. Oh, man, I can't wait to see this little chase down. Let's see it. Let's see it, everybody. Ooh, he's chasing. Boom. Touchdown saving tackle. There he is again. He's watching. He's like a hawk. Ooh, no, not today. Not today, boss. This is my house. Boom. PBU. Man. Good grief. Like, I gotta tell you, that is not a young man I'd want to go up against. I can tell you. Like, USC, I'm not sure they're gonna hang on this guy. But they do, good for them. But commits to us, that can be a huge win for the Crimson Tide. And what do we have here? We have a new YouTube member in Jordan Wright.
Yo,
Alabama.
What's up, my God, Jordan? Appreciate you for joining Alabama Voice of College Football YouTube membership. Yeah, it felt good to say that, man. Voice of College Football family. Yeah, I like that. Voice of College Football. We the voices. Man, let's go.
There we go.
Hey, you know what's crazy though, man? We came into tonight, hype about this recruiting class, and I heard you asked about Erbbert Hill. And somebody was asking what his size was. I think he's 6'2", 6'2.5", about 175, 180. Kind of a similar frame that you saw with Chuck McDonald last year going into his senior year. And we see how his frame is developed, how he's the man. Listen, the Bama secondary is probably going to be the most talented we've seen across the board. 3 deep at each position, 2 deep at each position. Like, everybody in the secondary can go out there and produce on the field at a high level. And it's going to be interesting to see what the rotations look like. Just watching how they rotate the secondary, it's going to be a pitching point for recruiting, a recruiting pitch. Look at how many young guys we are playing, in 2 years in a row. You're going to have an opportunity to prove yourself, and if you're ready, we will find you, and you will find yourself in the rotation.
There we go. I'm excited about what we're bringing to the table for 2025 and beyond. I'm so excited about what the rest of the 2020s is looking like. I'm loving what this young man can bring to the table. Yeah, USC. Yeah, no, the Hollywood lifestyle. Sorry, nah. We're gonna get him from y'all. Oh man, any other guys that we need to look out for, Coach?
You see, I knew you was gonna do it. That's why I went on ahead and I was looking to the right. But I've kind of been putting it out already over on the Coach Smook Network. But I wanted to put it out officially here on the Voice of College Football. Expect some commits coming here in the coming days. And I mean, today is Tuesday. I was expecting maybe one earlier today, or announcement about somebody leaning towards Alabama. And you all saw today, everybody's talking about Titan Davis, JJ Finch, but newly to the fold. A lot of people are talking about Nolan Wilson, and we kind of gave our thoughts on the Nolan Wilson idea of Auburn being in the mix. But I think this is one of those things where he's a swing guy. You get his commitment, he swing a couple more commitments, he pushes 2 or 3 away, but he brings other guys. So I don't know for me and where the scheme sits, and this class currently, and some of the guys, Kamari Brooks. More of a schematic fit for this defensive front. We have Kamari Johnson. We got Mari Johnson already committed. Jamarian Matthews. A lot of those guys in that front, in that defensive front, that front 7, that I believe are better scheme fits than Nolan Wilson. And he's a talent you don't skip on if he commits, right? You don't say, no, you can't come here. But if we do miss on him, I like the fact that we have Titan Davis trending. We have JJ Finch trending. And that would, to me, solidify the depth that you want with a young group coming into this class. You get 6 or 7 guys right there in your first 15 commits, and they're in your trenches right there. I think that it puts Alabama in a good position. But then on the other side of the ball, man, offensively, you talk about Ethan Booby Feaster, the wide receiver out of Texas. Is it Texas? He's out of Texas, right? Or is it Louisiana? It's Feaster out of
Louisiana, I believe.
Yeah, is one. They bring all the speed from those 2 states. So, but big play wide receiver. But you look at where we stand with Owen Cabell, the 3-star wide receiver, very underrated, 6'2", big body, can really stretch the field. Nobody knows who this young man is until Alabama offers him. He's leaning towards Alabama. You're still in the runnings with Cedar Morgan, but you get a commitment from possibly Ethan Booby Feaster. You look at I forget the young man's name, the running back athlete. He plays running back, wide receiver. It wasn't Feaster, chat. Come on. Athlete. I can't think of the name right now. But you get commitments from those type of guys that are, considered athletes in this class. They're classified as athletes. You fill a lot of voice with some veteran guys eligible for the draft this year. Who's to say that we see a Cole Adams return? He's eligible for the draft. He may not want to come in and try to up his draft stock. He may want to be a possession guy in the draft, 4th round draft, 5th round guy. That may be his goal, his target, to get in the league and just get in the locker room. So it's not crazy to see those type of things happen. So you gotta replenish your roster by getting athlete assets. So I think guys like that are really going to be some guys to look really closely to in the coming weeks with them visiting. And then I think the last name I wanted to talk about was that'll be here this weekend is Samarian Wingo out of St. Augustine, Florida.
Here we go. Let's see. There he is. There he is.
Is it Samario or Samarian?
Samarian Wingo.
Samarian Wingo. Okay. I think he's like 6'2", 185, 6'2", 180, 6'2", 180, something like that.
6'2", 180. You got it.
And so that's the guy's been watching closely because South Carolina is really heavy on him. Florida, Miami, they're all pretty heavy on him, as y'all can see on the screen. But this visit this weekend, him coming the same time as Brandon Errington, two speedy guys. Alabama is going to go and target these type of guys. And if you can get these two and an Owen Capel, I don't know if you get Cedar Morgan in this class, but that's a good swap. That's a good swap. You're talking about 3 wide receivers in this class with similar skill sets. Cedar Morgan with the size, but similar skill sets. And when you talk about pure speed and what this Alabama offense was to do with the vertical threat, you can't miss on any 4 of these guys that you have coming on these official visits during the month of June. So I like where we sit with all of them as far as being in the runnings. Samarian Wingo, I think, will be a focal point this weekend for this week, the visits this weekend. Derek Cooper was the guy that I was talking about. 6'1", 205-pound out of Chaminade, Hollywood, Florida, out of Chaminade High School. His visit this weekend exceeded his family's expectations. I told everybody to be on the lookout for his name. His mom was very public about how they just felt really like they felt at home at the University of Alabama. And then that FaceTime was pretty awesome, man. Seeing that, it was like pure joy, man. Like I see recruits at visits posting in pictures and stuff, but this weekend it was a lot of like, it felt like it was a different vibe around it, kind of like it was last year when we started getting all the big 5-star commits for Roll Tide weekend. I forget what they call it now. It ain't I forget what they call it when Saban was there, but yeah, I think we're in a good position with a lot of these high-end guys, and it's a lot of 3-stars that's coming on board that are getting their looks, and know that they're gonna have a chance to compete. It's gonna get crazy.
Oh man, I see Derek Cooper. This young man is very talented.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, he's gonna be up there. Like, we can get him. He's gonna be up there with that class of Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson.
You know what, Jackson? Honestly, you should see him in the slot. Like, his catching out the backfield to me is what creates so much value for him, because he could be what Alabama tried to do with Emmanuel Henderson, except he got in this offense. I think he would transition very well to a slot receiver, still be a running back asset, but like coming in that wide receiver room with his speed and his hands, get his route running up to par, which won't be hard for him. He's an athlete, man. So I don't know, man. Running back, wide receiver, athlete on the roster. I think he finds himself in a better position than the likes of and I'm not no slight, but Kevin Riley, because of his size, is what's, to me, I believe is what's keeping him pushed down in the rotation, because he has the speed, just doesn't have the size to be a solid pass blocker in pass pro. So Derek Cooper, with his size, 6'1", 205, going into his senior year, easily could put up to 225 and be a guy that looks different. Comes on campus and be an instant impact, kind of like AK Deer.
Ooh. He's taking defenders with him.
Look at him on defense. Oh, they didn't show it.
Yeah, they're messing around today. Like,
yeah, man.
That's
his
not cool.
hands out the backfield are pretty. I mean, solid for to be classified a running back. I think he has some of the best hands out of the targets that we're going after. Not much hype around Caden Protho. Not much hype around Caden Protho after the visit. And like as expected, a lot of people tried to read into some of his cryptic stuff he posted over the weekend. But that's just, he's going to enjoy his visits. I think he's a strong Texas lean. That's just his style. He to me, he fits Texas. He fits Texas. Caden Prothero.
Oh man, it's hard not to do the horns down thing. Just kind of have some fun with Texas every now and again.
And then I saw some. I'm not going to say false news. I saw some reports on Gyra Erits and his interest in Alabama growing. I think is right where it's been for the longest. He has a respect for what the transition looked like. Also the opportunity to get in that safety room and compete to play. But I don't think that we've moved or made any advancement in as far as his interest. I think Georgia, Oregon are right there with us as far as his top 3 out of the 4 that I believe he's going to announce. I think Georgia has just as much to offer as far as opportunity to play next season, more realistically next season for him than we do. You know, looking at the roster and what's coming. But you look at him, he's one of the legit 5 stars you're going to see. Caleb Downs type presence when talent on the field. I think if he starts to open his, starts indicating where he leans, if it's anywhere near Bama, you'll see the staff really dial in to secure that. You'll see the staff really dial in to secure that. But I think he's really neutral right now. Really neutral right now. Tennessee on the rise, though. UT is going to be very interesting this year. Bama will go no worse than 10-2 this year. I said the same thing. The floor is 10-2 for Bama this year. Anything else in recruiting? Anybody? Well, I ain't gonna say anybody here been hearing, but anybody want to know about? Because I got a lot of stuff I could talk about, but I don't think we should.
Ooh.
I think we should make them wait for the next episode.
Oh, there you go. Keep them wanting for more. I like that.
Yeah, man. Because we don't really have the we don't have the flow of the show yet. We're still waiting on Manny to come and get everything put together. We just want to continue to establish a presence on the channels and continue to just round up everybody. Start rounding them up. I see we got 70 total between the 2 platforms, between Twitter and YouTube. So I appreciate y'all for pulling up. Make sure y'all hitting the thumbs up on the stream.